So in this K2 quick brief, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how you can leverage K2's no-code business applications platform to speed up your web development and expose the power of K2 to external users through the Internet Connector license. So if you're not familiar with K2, we're a business applications platform with four pillars: forms, workflow, reports, and data, all of it being done through a designer which requires no code. Okay, so you can build really great business solutions using our platform, and we've got a great integration story at the data level with on-premise systems like SharePoint, SAP, SQL, Oracle, and then we've also got a number of cloud integrations, everything from Azure-based systems, SharePoint Online, Box, DocuSign, Salesforce, and the list goes on and on and on. So what is our internet connector? It's just a license that allows you to open up all the power of the K2 platform to external users or users from outside your organization, like customers, partner, vendors. And with this embedded technology, you can leverage the data and really speed up the deployment of neat applications within your web assets. So I'm going to talk about two pillars today, and in the demo, I'm just going to focus on those. The data layer. So we talked a bit about smart objects and our patented technology that allows you to access all types of business systems with no code. The great thing about these objects is once you configure them and set them up, they can be reused over and over and over. And I've got a couple neat integrations that I'll show you as I go through my web-based demo. Now, once you have that data set up, now you can leverage it through our smart forms technology. One of the nice things about our technology is that it's all modular. So we've got forms components that we call views, and those views can be set up once and reused over and over and over. They also allow you within a single form to integrate with multiple backend systems. So I can bring back information from all different types of systems into a single decision-making interface or data entry interface, which gives the users a really great end user experience. Okay, so that's just a quick overview. Let's go ahead and get into the demo and I'll show you the power of K2. So for the demo, what I've done is I've pre-configured a view and a couple different forms and embedded them into a web page that I've built. Okay, now this could be your portal, it could be your corporate website, depending on what you want to do. And I'll talk a little bit about those. And it was very simple. I just used an iframe to embed these different views and forms into the system. Now I could surface this form directly from the K2 server without embedding it. But in this example, I wanted to give you an idea of how you can embed these to speed up your web dev for different components within your website. So if you take a peek here, I've got three separate components that I've embedded. The first one is actually just a real simple form. And this form was auto-generated from a SQL Smart Object. And if you look at it, it looks pretty plain, pretty simple, typical form that you'd see on a website. But in the background, I've got the power of K2 working for me. So if I type in the zip code and click Tab, you're going to see that it dynamically brings back the city, the state, and the area code. These were actually brought from an external web service that allows you to convert a zip code into those different field or components. All right, built in probably 10 minutes, really quick. As I mentioned, no code by a sales guy. So that's one example that you can do. And obviously we've pulled that external web service. The other example, and just real basic, I've got the ability to embed validation, so I can come in here and make sure that folks are entering data correctly. You can see that I required a dash for formatting, and there's all types of rules that we can put on these different fields. So that's a real basic example. Let's get a little more complex. So this particular website component that I put in is a form that surfaces a list of majors from a SharePoint list. So if I highlight one of these and add it into my selected items, you'll see that dynamically down below, it renders detailed information from a website about that major. Okay, and if I remove one and if I add the next one, you can see it brings back that information. Once again, information pulled back from a SharePoint list represented into a control on your website, no code required. Really quick build time. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is another form that's been embedded, and this has some rules where I can fill out address information. And once I finalize the zip code and tab out of the field, it triggers a rule that takes all the information and pipes it into a Google Maps rendering within the same page experience. All right. Really quick, really easy to build. Once again, as I've mentioned several times, no code required. So typically at this point, you've taken a peek, you've seen how we can embed some of the K2 technology within an external web page. So the next question is, well, how do you configure it? So I'll give you a quick example. I try to keep these short and brief, so I'll show you a quick example. If you have follow-on questions, you can contact us. But here within the K2 Designer, which is a web-based design canvas, I've got a project called Student Services. And within there, I've got some views, some forms, as well as some smart objects. This is a smart object that was configured that ties into SQL. To give you a quick example of how quickly you can build that student information component that I embedded, I can right-click the data object, click on Design View. Let's name it. We'll call this Demo View. Click Next. And let's go ahead and let K2 auto-generate my fields for me. So it prompts me for the columns, what fields from the data source I want to include, some basics on layout, and when I click OK, boom, the form's built. Now this is built, I've got a URL where I can access it, and it's quick and easy to embed into a web page. And I can add additional rules, different functionality. The designer is all drag and drop. What you see is what you get. So if I wanted to align these right, I could do that and add different components as well as different controls. Okay, so that's a quick example, just how to build a really quick form based on the data layer. If you have any follow-on questions or you want to see this more in depth, give us a shout at k2.com. Thanks.